All right, everybody. Today I'm sitting down with the team from Heartwood Detox. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Right
Glad
on.
to be here.
Right on. So my first question, Jesse, will be for you, and that is if you could give our viewers an overview of the program, like how many beds you have, where you're located, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We have 2 6-bed facilities, all private rooms. One house is in San Rafael and one is in Nevada.
Awesome. Mike, the next one I have is for you.
Okay.
And that is if you could give us kind of an overview of the length of stay and what the medical component is.
Sure, great question. So we are 24-hour medical, so we got a nursing staff on 24/7. Doctors on call, sees you there very quickly in the beginning of your stay, and then basically qualifies and watches your taper as you go all the way through. Typical stay, alcohol is 5 nights, 6 days. Opiates or benzos ranges, but typically 9 nights, 10 days. And then really depending on someone's condition, we can adjust accordingly to how long they need to be there. But I would say typically somewhere from 5 to 14 days.
Awesome. Thank you. So as admissions, what type of drugs do people come to Heartwood for? And are there any that you guys don't work with?
I mean, pretty much any and all substances. We'll have people come in for alcohol detox, anything from opiates, OxyContin, Norco, fentanyl, benzodiazepine, Xanax, whatever it may be. We have somebody actually who came in today from Kratom, and we still will address that and treat people individually for what it is that they're struggling with. As far as substances that we wouldn't take, I actually don't know of any. If somebody's on Suboxone or something like that and they're wanting to get off of that, which is also something that we can't put people on when they're there, we would want somebody to come in on kind of a lower dose to then go through the detox. If they're on a really high dose, we might want to get them down a little bit, but pretty much anything and everything.
Awesome. So if you could give us kind of an overview as to what the average day for a client looks like when they're with you guys at Heartwood.
Sure. Of course, everybody's a little bit different, but look at it this way. We're not waking people in the morning, so we're trying to help people catch up with their sleep. But somebody typically wakes up, they're really seen by the nurse right away to kind of check vitals and basics and things like that, make sure their taper is adjusted properly. And then it's about 3 great meals a day. It's about possibly some exercise. It's about engaging in their recovery. It's about talking to the doctor. It's about talking to the nurse. It's about really trying to understand what's happening with their taper, communicating how they're feeling, getting that back to the medical staff, trying to get some nutrition again, and try to stay stable and really kind of get back to what they need to do to feel good on a daily basis.
Yeah, I like that. Say there's a client and they're with you guys at Heartwood and they're having a tough time, right? They're detoxing. It can be a rough time for some. So what kind of support do you offer for those tough times?
Yeah, everyone that comes through the door is offered a therapy session. They can take advantage of it if they want. They're not required to, but there's always someone there that they can talk to if they are having a tough time. Our staff, I'd say most of them are in recovery themselves, so there's really not situations that pop up that we haven't seen or that we haven't experienced ourselves. So sometimes if it's just a staff member going in or a licensed therapist, whatever it is, they can rely on us.
I'd say too, from a physical standpoint, we have an IV nurse. So we have a small business called Restore IV that comes in and gives people IVs and really helps them get through those first couple of days and foster that physical feeling that needs to come back. And it really turns the corner for a lot of people pretty quickly.
Awesome.
There's always somebody that's there to talk with somebody that's going through a hard time. It's something like Jesse was saying, a lot of us have been through that, and so we can relate with people and understand where they're at and meet them where they're at, and give them hope that it's going to get better, and like this is kind of the plan that we'll go through. But having a lot of staff and people around is always a good thing, and we certainly do. So.
Absolutely.
But I'd say too, within reason, rest assured, we're going to give you the breathing room you need. If it's day 1 or day 2 and you're just in bed and you're detoxing and you're struggling, the nurse is close to you. If it's day 3 or 4 and you're ready to get out and socialize, we want you to get out and socialize. So we really try to, the line is meet people where they're at. We try to meet them where they're at. It's a non-judgmental place, right? Mostly, as John said, we've all been through it, right? We've all been there in a tough spot. And who better to help you get through that than somebody that's experienced it firsthand? So
right.
We're there for you.
What are some of the rules and or restrictions with you guys at Heartwood?
So we try to we're a small private place, and so we can, to a certain degree, write our own rules, which is kind of nice. I mean, obviously, you have to give people still structure and accountability. They do keep their phones, they keep all their technology. Many people come in and still need to stay connected to work. Obviously, we want your recovery to be number one, but if you still have to stay connected to the outside world, we totally let you, do that, facilitate that. Other things we feel like we do get them a little exercise, some walks. We've got animals on our property. We have a swimming pool. I think it's a little different than your average detox. So we like people to feel a certain amount of freedom within our place, right? It's not freedom to run about the community, but freedom to kind of re-engage in your recovery. So we don't have a ton of restrictions. It's kind of on a case-by-case basis. The better you act and engage in your recovery, probably a little more latitude is what you're going to get.
How do you support clients in transitioning to whatever's next after detox?
What we try to do, since we are uniquely positioned and we are just detox, I think the road for everybody is different. Myself, I went through 11, 12 treatment centers. I didn't need another treatment center. A lot of people do need treatment after detox. So what we do is we sit down and we try and get a plan that's right for everybody, whether that's sober living, IOP, treatment, going back with their family and just having a therapist, whatever it is. Everybody's situation is a little different, so we try to sit down and figure out what's right for that person, and then we can match them up based on their needs with the right facility.
Awesome.
That's the thing that I love about Heartwood, is that the fact that we are detox only, right? Like, we are not a treatment center ourselves, but often people do need continuing care after they leave us. One of the things we offer to people when they come in is, a continuing care plan with a whole bunch of options, and they're not specific to us. Like, we're not attached to any one thing. And so again, it's meeting that person where they're at. Have they been to 6 or 7 different treatment centers, or 6 or 7 different detoxes, or have they never been at all? And so finding what it is that works for them, what it is that they're willing to do, what's within the scope of what they can afford. We work with a whole bunch of different treatment centers, outpatient programs, therapists, a whole bunch of stuff to get people back to a life that they want to have living sober.
What is your favorite thing about Heartwood Detox? Your personal favorite thing?
My favorite thing, I love seeing people, I love seeing the change in people. We'll take it, most people, if they're willing to come into detox, we will take them. I love seeing people come, stumble through the door, and 2, 3, 4 days later, they can look you in the eye, they can have a conversation, and it's a completely different person. So I love seeing the change, and that's my favorite part.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I love being able to, when I was getting sober, I never thought I was going to get to the point in my life and my recovery where I was going to be able to actually share that experience with someone else and just make an impact. I mean, heart to heart, nothing that's coming from the logic of my mind, but coming from the heart of what I did to stay sober, what I do to stay sober, and how I made that shift in my life and how everything changed. And I get to turn around and give that back to someone and hopefully have them connect and see that, God, if he could do it, maybe I can do it.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard thing to answer. There's a lot of stuff at Heartwood that I love. I think that the thing that sticks out to me the most is when we have somebody that comes in initially and is just not doing well. Whether it's been from using too many substances or just emotionally just a wreck, haven't eaten in forever. And I love it when I'm like finished with somebody's admission and I'm walking them down to the nurse so they can do the nursing admission, and there's like people that are out there that have been there for a little bit that are smiling. There's like cookies and muffins and double bacon cheeseburger, whatever it is, and like somebody who is malnourished, hasn't eaten in a minute, and they're like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, it's, lunch. Like, oh my God, is that for me? And like people are just blown away by what it is that we have. And I don't know, it's this thing where I feel like sometimes people haven't been treated kindly when they're going into a detox center, and the food and the other stuff is just kind of a small thing, but people feeling that they're comfortable there in detox when they arrive. Love to see it.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sitting down and taking the time to answer some questions with me. And if you're watching and want to learn more about Heartwood, we'll put a phone number right here, and pick up the phone and make the call, because these are some good people and you'll receive really good care.
Give yourself a chance. You deserve a chance.
Absolutely.
Just call, figure out what's going on. We can help you out.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Right on.